Good morning. It's Tuesday, June 30th, 2026. A 13-year-old boy survived a 50-foot fall down the waterfall track of a popular Disneyland ride after he climbed out of his moving log flume vehicle moments before the attraction's dramatic drop. It happened Sunday at Tiana's Bayou Adventure, one of Disneyland's attractions in California. He was transported to the hospital by emergency responders, and amazingly, doctors found no serious injuries. Wow, that's exciting. Let's go back to Disneyland, Ma. Here is the new food chart that's completely different from the old food chart. How can the government expect us to believe them? That's amazing. Notice on the new food chart, meat, fat, and vegetables are on top. The bottom of the food chart is whole wheat, grain products, cereals, which they used to tell us to eat in the morning. I've had it with them. I don't pay attention. California news. Alberto Calvarjo, superintendent of the Los Angeles Unified School District, abruptly resigns as FBI investigation into a strange $6 million AI contract. FBI agents move on Skid Row over allegations of voter fraud in the LA mayoral race involving homeless individuals for votes. I saw a video on that. They're giving them a couple of $5, $2, and they're voting the way they're told to vote for the money. Governor Gavin Newsom is under federal scrutiny for channeling millions into his wife's nonprofit with a pattern of pay-to-play corruption. Gee, you think? Dr. Rand Paul asked Anthony Fauci to appear before Paul's investigatory committee. Anthony Fauci agreed, but later changed his mind. This was a while back. So now Dr. Rand Paul has subpoenaed Fauci. Fauci was supposed to have appeared yesterday. I searched the internet and I couldn't find anything regarding that meeting. I'll keep an eye open for that. I know Paul was upset with the Biden pardon that they gave to Fauci, which was like unconditional, and he hadn't even been suspected of a crime at that time, but they just gave him a full pardon. Anyway, he suspects that might have been with the auto pen, and it may not be legal. What they are calling the heat dome is expected to peak Thursday through Saturday and potentially set close to 100 new daily record highs for July 4th. It is expanding across the central and eastern United States this week, with over 140 million people under heat alerts. So if you can stay inside the shade and drink plenty of water prior to going outside, then do so. And I understand heat also is cumulative. So if you have a little heat exhaustion one day, it'll be worse the next day because it accumulates. So drink a lot of water, especially before you go outside, because it takes a while for your cells to assimilate that water and hydrate properly. Today, the United States and Iran have scheduled talks in Qatar. Well, what do you know? Trump wrote on Truth Social the following: "There may come a point when we are no longer able to be reasonable, and we will be forced to militarily complete the job that we very successfully started. If that happens, the Islamic Republic of Iran will no longer exist." Boom. Boy, Trump knows how to lay it out there. the story continues to evolve. Updates to come. You may have heard that Europeans do not have ranch dressing at home, and they love the stuff. They're all coming over here for the soccer games, and they're trying out our creamy ranch dressing, and they love it. So Kraft announced that it was developing TSA-compliant ranch dressing packets in clear quart-sized bags for global World Cup tourists to bring home in their carry-on luggage. So I guess Kraft's going to open a whole new market in Europe for their dressing. More than 50 large fires are burning across the country, covering over 460,000 acres, according to the National Interagency Fire Center. Air quality alerts are also in effect for much of Colorado because of wildfire smoke. With the heat wave that's affecting much of America, that really sucks. It has to be really hot. You can't breathe because of smoke. Can you imagine the firefighters out there with the heat wave? Wow. I went by a fire once, and it was a good 50 feet away, and it was a big fire. But I was on a highway, and they hadn't stopped the highway yet, so I didn't want to be detoured hundreds of miles out of my way, so I went for it. And my gosh, 50 feet away, the fire was burning through my glass window onto my face. It was so hot. It was amazing how hot it gets. And now the evening temperatures aren't cooling off very much either. So that compounds the problem. Oh, man. I'm blessed. I'm in air conditioned today. Feels good. Kennedy's HHS awarded Moderna another $314 million. The HHS is a government agency, and he's giving Moderna, a private corporation, millions of tax dollars. Okay, here comes my opinion. This is a corporation that hid the negative effects of their vaccine product from the American people. I hear people talk about capitalism. I don't think they realize we don't have capitalism anymore. We have a corporatism oligarchy. Corporations have captured the American government and its agencies. Rasmussen polling shows more than half of voters think COVID-19 vaccines may have killed many people. According to CDC VAERS data, COVID vaccines alone have been linked to 1.6 million adverse events. That's the government CDC data. I'm certain it's much more than that. This is pretty amazing. NASA is preparing for a first-of-its-kind mission to save a telescope in orbit from falling to Earth. They're beginning this mission today. SWIFT is a $500 million observatory launched in 2004 that is falling to Earth sooner than expected due to recent solar storms. Last year, Arizona-based Catalyst Space won a $30 million contract to rescue SWIFT by raising its orbit to around 370 miles before it falls below the 185-mile point, which is considered the point of no return, at which time the telescope falls to Earth. They're planning to amazingly attach a device to it that will propel it further into outer space. Boy, good luck with that one. So this is interesting. Morgan Stanley estimates the lithium market will face an 80,000-ton shortfall this year alone, with 5 times demand growth expected by 2040. The deficit is just starting. Lithium may be the new gold. Instead of a gold rush, it'll be a lithium rush. So, there's the news. Everybody have a enjoyable Tuesday, and we'll Talk to you next time. Have a great day.
Please hit the like button. Subscribe.